To be clear, fellow Quinn, when you met with Lord Tiberius Valgreaves to discuss the nature of your contract, only you were in the room?
Correct. Unless we're counting his foxhound, Nala, of course.
To our great regret, the Baron's dog cannot verify the truth of your account. And again, to be clear, he gave you this assignment only after you arrived.
Yes. I knew the contract would be as a tutor in residence, ostensibly to teach someone something at the estate. However, this was the first time I understood the assignment was educating Lady Josephine about the value of Clawmoor Heights.
Is this written down anywhere?
I don't believe so, no.
So we must simply take your word for it.
Your insinuation is entirely misplaced, Master Gates.
You studied Clawmoor as part of your apprenticeship, yes?
I did.
Why? Why Clawmoor, specifically?
It has a rich history with fascinating stories. The Sovereign
Tell
era...
us, what did your parents do again?
They were domestic true-folk, bonded to the League of Glove and Key.
Your father, what was his occupation within the guild?
He was a stable groom.
And where was his last contract, Miss Quinn?
How is this relevant to...
I believe our colleagues will find it quite relevant. Where was the contract?
It has nothing to do with...
Where was the contract?
Clawmoor Heights.
Clawmoor Heights. Where he was dismissed without reference, correct?
Correct.
Where's your father now?
We have no idea.
None?
He left us some years ago.
How much of your father's dismissal influenced your academic work?
I don't follow your line of questioning.
I believe you do. Your study of Clawmoor Heights had nothing to do with its rich history or fascinating stories. You wanted justice. Or perhaps vengeance for your father's sacking.
That isn't true. It may have piqued my interest, but my father chose to leave us. I don't place that responsibility on the Valgreaves.
You assert that your father's disappearance, your study of Clawmoor, the Baron hiring you personally, and the unpleasantness that followed was all some grand coincidence?
To some extent, yes.
And you're also suggesting that at no point could you decline the Clawmoor contract, or else you'd be securing the downfall of your mentor.
I believed that to be true.
So, what did you do next?
I got right to work.
And how did that go?
Not well.
Studio Hermitage presents Clawmoor Heights, an Our Brilliant Ruin story. Created by Rachel J. Wilkinson.
I found Lady Josephine in the North Library. She was at the window, meticulously adjusting a sextant. With her deep auburn hair and piercing gaze, she reminded me of a hawk or falcon surveying the landscape from her lofty perch. I could see why the Baron favored her. Even in her idleness, she had the bearing of an aristocrat.
To be anywhere but here.
Where would you go?
Well, there was a time where I would have set across the sea, and now I'd settle for the far side of the mountain. No matter where we go, it always leads to ruin.
Do you think about the ruin often?
Often enough to know that I may never have a gray hair, for we'll all be dead young things. I don't even know why I bother with this. Sextants are like the vestigial tales of the apocalypse, vainly persisting as a useless curiosity.
I think about the ruin too sometimes, but then I remind myself that I can't control what happens. Keeping it at bay is as impossible as preventing the sun from setting. I can only choose how I spend the time I have left.
And you decided it was best spent at Clawmoor, the farthest place from anywhere. What is wrong with you?
I wouldn't have it any other way. I studied this home for years. To be here, seeing it with my own eyes, touching it with my own fingertips, smelling the woody, leathery, musty scent of old books.
Ooh, we should convince my father to make you the next Baroness instead of me.
Well, that will surely kill him.
Excuse me?
I am so sorry. That was awful of me to say.
Might be the first honest thing anyone has said to me in this house. Agatha Quinn, how dare you be a real person?
I am truly sorry for what you and your brothers are going through.
My father has lived well for a long time. And when he's gone, there will be nothing to keep me here.
I'd like the chance to teach you something about the house, even if you do decide to leave.
To what end?
History isn't a book. It's a blade. Wield it well, and you can pierce the veil that separates the present from the future. Ignore it, and you risk cutting yourself instead.
Sounds dangerous. I'm intrigued.
Our humanity, our capacity for love and hate, fear and joy, curiosity, envy, ambition, lust, this has never changed. These passions steer the course of our decisions, and history documents the consequences. Tell me, what decree did the Sovereign make that changed the fate of your family?
The Sovereign made the Valgreaves the Wardens of the Flame.
And why's that?
To oversee fire's use across royal lands.
True, but why give your family so much power?
To stop nobles from burning each other's crops and lighting signal fires to rally rebels.
Closer, consider this. It's generally believed your ancestors were royal gamekeepers, huntsmen, and warreners. Their role was crucial in keeping the crown well fed, akin to how the aristocracy leans on the true folk today. When the Sovereign sent Godric Valgreave to reclaim poached game from starving villagers, how did they respond?
They beat him to death rather than let him confiscate it.
And which family had the power to deprive the Sovereign's table of meat?
The Valgreaves.
So, why elevate Godric's daughter, Luella, to Warden of the Flame then? Was it a whim of royal fancy?
It was fear. My family could have starved the entire royal line.
Exactly. It was a clever move to secure their loyalty. It embedded your family in the system rather than risking what you might do outside it.
But didn't that backfire? I mean, here we are, leaders in the new aristocracy, with the Sovereign era long behind us.
That's the power of history. It's perspective. With it, you can shape the future. Without it, you bloody yourself.
What is it about you and making everything seem so hostile?
Josephine, I just got off the telephone with a broker in Grandhurst. She's found us a townhouse in the city for a steal.
Inez, meet Agatha Quinn. Agatha, this radiant gem is my fiancé, Inez.
I'm delighted to meet you. And my warmest congratulations on your engagement.
Oh, she's pretty. Josie and I were so worried you wouldn't be pretty.
You were worried she wouldn't be pretty.
We would still adore you regardless, of course. We adore her, yes?
Deliberations continue, but she's making an impression.
We should invite her to our engagement dinner tonight.
I couldn't possibly...
Yes, you could, and you shall. Josie, my love, you know how much I hate an odd number of guests. Please, tell her to join us.
You should join us. Well, my father insisted I invite his broker, so we need you there.
We can sit her next to Cassius. You'll love him. He's monstrously handsome and disgustingly rich.
Lady Josephine, Lady Inez, that is such a generous offer, but I really couldn't accept. I wouldn't even know what to say. I didn't anticipate...
This is where she tells us she doesn't have a dress.
You're being rude, Inez.
It's fine.
I already have something in mind. The butter yellow chiffon piece with the puff sleeves and lace. It would look darling on her.
Then it's settled. You'll come to dinner tonight as our guest.
I would be honored.
Now, Inez, darling, what price did the broker give you? Because your definition of a steal and mine are two entirely different numbers.
By the time they were talking about townhouses in Grandhurst, I knew we were done for the day. But I felt like we made progress. I sensed Lady Josephine could see some worth in the lesson.
You were optimistic.
I was. And despite my reservations about the dinner, learning about the family appealed to me.
You never considered that might cross a professional line?
Part of me questioned it, certainly. On the other hand, a glimpse of Lady Josephine's life felt essential to understanding her.
And what did you discover?
That carrying the weight of your father's hopes is heavier than it appears.
If I could have your attention for a moment, I would like to toast my sister and my future sister-in-law.
Josie, did you put Lucas up to this? The dear creature. I love him.
To my soon-to-be wed sisters, Josephine and Inez. We raise our glasses to you, the great escapists, for slipping the noose of rural tedium. As you look toward your life in the city, I offer some pearls of wisdom.
Are you even old enough to have pearls of wisdom?
I couldn't agree more.
Wisdom comes not in years, but in exploits, Josephine, of which I have many. Now, as I was saying, remember that sophistication in the city is merely the art of looking bored when you're actually bewildered. That there are no beasts as fearsome as the one sitting at this dining table, and...
How dare, Lucas? Speak for yourself.
Mother, please. You're the most terrifying of us all.
It's called clarity of purpose, you wretched boy.
Of course, Mother, forgive me. And lastly, should you two grow weary of Grandhurst, Clawmoor Heights will welcome you home with open arms. May love make you daring in your adventures together. Cheers.
Cheers! Mahogany covered every inch of the Clawmoor dining room, from the rug to the coffered ceiling. Hand-carved eagles hunted snakes around columns. Foxes chased rabbits across the mantels. Wolves stalked deer with intricate ivy vines tying the various scenes together. While the craftsmanship was impressive, the wood seemed to swallow every sound, making the conspicuously small party feel even more isolated. Lord and Lady Clawmoor sat at opposite heads of the table. Across from me, Lord Lucas sat next to Ladies Josephine and Inez, and Mr. Kirazar had a place near the Baron. On my side of the table was a cousin named Tessa, who spent most of the dinner feeding a pug in her lap. And I was seated between Lord Stellan and Mr. Cassius Dara, as Lady Inez intended.
Why are we talking about Grandhurst as if it had anything to offer? No one should live that close to the sea, not these days. Tell her, Renwick.
Coastal properties are a fool's investment, compounded by the risk of ruin. It's a nasty venture. Ill-conceived at best.
If anyone was an expert in nasty business, Mr. Kirazar, it would be you.
It's a wonder, really, how the oblivious can speak so boldly on matters they scarcely comprehend. You would do well to heed the warning.
Your concern is as misplaced as your condescension. We've considered the risks.
I won't allow it. It's too dangerous.
It's not like we'll be living in the slink, Papa.
Oh no, our broker found us a spectacular townhouse in Whitby Gardens.
Oh, is that so? Whitby Gardens. Doesn't that sound lovely? Which one of you plans to pay for it?
I do.
And how will you manage that?
I have my ways.
You have ways now, do you? Did you hear that, Rodina? Our daughter has ways.
I can build a life on my own.
Name one thing of yours that I didn't give you. Ways.
You mustn't agitate your father like this, Josephine. Crispin, the elderflower cordial, swiftly now.
Yes, your ladyship.
How is this my fault? You, more than anyone, should be on my side, given who stands to gain from my departure.
I am on your side. There is nothing I want more than for you and Inez to have the happiest of lives together in the city. But do not play your father or me as fools. Mr. Dara, how is the lamb?
Superb, Lady Clawmoor, with flavors as invigorating as the evening's company. My heartfelt thanks to Lady Josephine and Lady Inez for including me in the occasion.
We are thrilled you accepted. You lift the entire room with your praise.
And I am lifted by this distractingly adorable dog on Lady Tessa's lap. What's her name?
Her name is Precious, because she is dearer to me than anything. The perfect companion, always happy and never leaves me.
You're at Amsdale, close to Crowscroft, if I recall?
Indeed, living with my Aunt Fidelia.
And how is the Countess these days?
She's well, though given to the occasional fit over Crowscroft Manor.
I'm surprised it's still standing.
Likewise, there's talk of some new people taking over, and you know how Aunt Fidelia feels about new people.
And you?
New faces, new friendships. I welcome the change.
Didn't Crowscroft Manor belong to the Galda Parks at one time?
You'd know better than me, Miss Quinn.
You're the historian among us.
I'm teaching Lady Josephine about Clawmoor.
And has there been any progress?
We made some strides today. But I had a thought for tomorrow's lesson, and I wondered, Your Lordship, if you'd permit us to tour the estate. I'd like to take Lady Josephine to some of the oldest parts of the manor.
I'm sure there's something we could do. Crispin, do we have anyone available?
Yes, my lord, I can make the arrangements.
Excuse my impertinence, but may I join you, Miss Quinn? I'm very keen to learn about the property.
I would be happy to include you, as long as Lady Josephine...
Absolutely not. There will be no tour. You are here to tutor my sister in lessons, not traipse about the estate hosting walking parties.
My apologies, Lord Stellan, but I believe if she could see where some of these stories...
Do you presume to contradict me in my own home?
Not at all. I'm merely suggesting a way to make the past feel more real.
You overstep, Miss Quinn.
Stellan, brother, Crispin knows better than to show them where we bury the bodies.
This is hardly the time for your desperate need to be seen, Lucas. The fact that none of you have any regard for this family's privacy. We have true folk at this table, and you cluck on like gilded hens.
Enough! You've made yourself more than plain.
Is this table linen new? The embroidery is so delicate. It's really quite luxurious.
It is. I had it commissioned from an artist with a peacock's feast. I believe they're from a small village near Rel. Lady Catherine passed along the name. They've become known for their nature motifs.
I owe you an apology, Miss Quinn. I fear my curiosity may have put you in a regrettable position.
We all find ourselves led by curiosity at times, Lord Dara.
Mister, please. I am no lord.
I thought it was customary among the aristocracy to choose titles.
Perhaps for others. But I've always thought those preoccupied with titles to be distinctly unremarkable.
I might caution you to keep that to yourself in the presence of other Crown Hall academics. They enjoy titles a great deal.
I was right about you, though.
How so?
You differ from the rest. Tell me, Miss Quinn, is it just me, or is this dinner party an odd collection?
I thought the same, but dared not say anything. Lady Inez's parents are notably absent, and yet you, Mr. Kirazar and I seem...
Yet me what?
I forget myself, Mr. Dara, please.
No. We've come so far already. We may as well go all the way.
Well, I was surprised when Lady Inez mentioned you, given the dispute over the fate of Clawmoor.
That would explain some things. The Baron knows about my interest.
I believe he does, sir.
I see. Consider me in your debt. Lady Inez, will your parents be joining us?
They had hoped to be here this evening, but they ran into trouble. Something with the road.
Would a motorcar solve the issue?
Possibly, but the Valgreaves automobile needs a repair, from what I understand.
What about the spare, Lord Clawmoor?
Another car?
You only have the one?
We have it in hand, sir.
We thank you for your concern.
At that point, Lord Clawmoor declared dinner over.
Is that how the evening ended?
Not quite. I spent some time with the family in the parlor afterward. But once the room seemed to thin, I excused myself so I could retire for the night.
Ah, yes, I recall this was the evening you decided to eavesdrop on the family.
Excuse me? I didn't decide to eavesdrop. That wasn't my intention.
Did you linger by a door and listen to a private conversation?
Yes, but...
That would be eavesdropping, Miss Quinn. Tell us, what did you hear?
Cassius Dara speaking to Lady Josephine and Lord Stellan.
We believe our geological surveys point to a vein of silver ore stretching underneath Clawmoor. And unless I'm mistaken, the Valgreaves don't possess the equipment necessary to mine it. My family does.
Any attempt to extract it invites ruin.
We are willing to offer a prodigious sum for the purchase of Clawmoor.
To whoever holds the title.
Baron, Baroness, it matters little to us.
My father believes you intend to demolish the house.
Not initially, and only if necessary.
Thank you for your offer, Mr. Dara. We'll take it under consideration.
What's to consider? This house is a tomb, Stellan. I don't plan to hide here waiting to die.
If you require an additional incentive, we could also discuss a percentage of revenue from ongoing mining operations. You could be shareholders in the endeavor.
How much of a percentage?
3, perhaps.
What's going on in here?
Nothing, Lucas.
No. You two do this to me every time.
No one is doing anything to you.
What's he proposing then? This vulture, this piece of fool's gold.
Watch yourself, lad.
It doesn't matter. It's a moot proposition.
It's hardly moot.
Our father is still Baron.
He's coughing up a pint of blood a day, in case you haven't noticed.
What's the proposition? Tell me!
We have the chance to sell this place to Cassius.
You can't sell my estate.
Your estate?
You don't want to be here. Stellan's too busy burying feelings he wish he didn't have, which leaves me. I'm the only one of us who can be Baron.
Did your mother tell you to say that?
Leave my mother out of this.
Calm down.
The two of you are unbelievable. We finally have an opportunity to do something good for ourselves, and this one has barricaded himself under Regina's skirts, and you're still trying to earn a pat on the head that our father will never give us.
No one is keeping you here. Pack up Inez and your birds and as many marks as you can carry and go!
Lucas, calm down.
Quit telling me to calm down!
Stop! Lucas! Pull yourself together!
Both of you are pathetic.
You've always looked down on me, both of you. Not anymore. You're not selling anything. This is my home. And if I have to drown you both in the courtyard to get it, I will.
Clawmoor Heights stars Kate Siegel, Indira Varma, Byron Mann, Shannon Uphold, Jay Sullivan, Sean Patrick Judge, and Jovan Jackson. Written and directed by Rachel J. Wilkinson. Original music composition by Brian Michael Fuller. Recorded by Mark Zamora. Sound design by Kay Wilder and Rachel J. Wilkinson. Mix and mastering by Brian Michael Fuller. Clawmoor Heights is a Studio Hermitage production. Visit us at ourbrilliantruin.com.